Good morning, everyone. This is Corey Hinkle and the one and only Steve Ankerstar here for your Ankerstar Wealth Daily Update. That's a really special update today. We're going to recap what I introed yesterday. I'm going to hit a quick market update. Newsflash, I think we've got a chance to hit new all-time highs officially today on the S&P 500. And then if we have time, I've got a couple other topics that we might get to, but we'll just see where the meeting takes us. Before I begin, I want to remind everyone this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence before acting on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Steve's alone, and maybe Phong Lee's a little bit as well. But we'll see where that goes. So just a little market update here. The S&P 500 is up 1/3%. This might be a tiny bit delayed. The NASDAQ is leading things higher, so that's tech. And then we do have a new little update, breaking news that core inflation a little bit lower than expected, which is probably what's sending the S&P 500 higher. If you look at that on a chart, the S&P 500, this was the all-time high. If you blink, if you squint, you can see it here on October 25th. And I didn't realize we didn't get a new all-time high in November. Okay. So yeah, October 25th, and we are less than 1/4% away. So, if you're just looking at it, we are at all-time highs. We are at all-time highs. All right, and I'm going to kick it over to Steve because Steve's going to touch on what we experienced last night. I don't know if he's going to mention, but the energy in the room was just electric, and it's something I'll never forget. Steve, go ahead and kick it off. What did you want to hit?
Yeah, you bet. And first of all, it was that amazing of an event. We had about 50 people there. We had some amazing food that we haven't catered from this place before. So some thank yous are in order first before we get into what Phong Lee had to tell us all last night. But thanks, first of all, the team from Texas Capital. They were the one who kind of brokered the deal. Obviously, I don't have Phong in my phone to be able to invite him out to the Endgame Lounge, but they were working his road show, if you will. And they reached out to us, and we gladly accepted the opportunity to host him. So thanks to Texas Capital for that. Thanks to my staff, did a lot of amazing preparation work. Obviously, our biggest event that we've ever held. So a lot of work went into just getting all the little things right to make such an amazing event, and it paid off in spades. But also thanks for all of you that listen to this and are Ankerstar Wealth clients for your trust and confidence, because you do have to be a certain size before you even get on the map as an investing firm, and we are indeed on the map. So thank you for your trust and confidence. You're the reason this all happens, and it was able to get us the attention to be able to get somebody like this to actually come to us to present versus us watching on a webinar or something like that. So thank you. So as far as Phong Lee, thanks to Phong for coming out. He is the CEO of MicroStrategy, like Corey talked about in yesterday's show, kind of went through his background. His wife's from Austin, and she went to Texas A&M. So how about that for a local connection? And Phong actually had to leave last night to go eat dinner with his father-in-law while he was in town. So it's pretty cool that he actually has an Austin connection as well. But if you flip forward to the Bitcoin Treasury slide there for me, Corey, this is the why, right? So there is a software company with strategy, but it's really a Bitcoin treasury company. And this kind of shows the Bitcoin holdings, 650,000 Bitcoin, approximately 3.1% of the overall Bitcoin. So it's really their position going forward. There's only a finite amount of Bitcoin out there. They're positioned to be the largest. I don't think anyone can physically catch them at this point, to be the largest Bitcoin treasury company. So if our Bitcoin thesis plays out, this actually means they will be the largest company in the world, which is kind of crazy. So a lot has to happen for that to happen, but that is the thesis, and that's how we invest, the thesis and conviction. The thesis is intact, and the conviction's at an all-time high. Now, part of that is, the fanboy effect, right? When you hear the CEO stand there and talk in front of you, you hear what you want to hear for sure. But he was dispelling a lot of the rumors that are out there. Jamie Dimon has kind of taken on strategy in the press, right, with some negative stuff out there. So there's a bit of a battle going on. That's why if you've seen Phong Lee on TV, it's generally dispelling the rumors that Jamie Dimon and his team are starting out there. But he took the time to basically, if you've heard that rumor, he showed us a slide to dispel it, and we're not going to go through all of that. But he did talk to the preferred specifically that we own. So when you think of what's our exposure to Bitcoin, well, the pure exposure is the BitB. That's a Bitwise ETF that just holds spot Bitcoin, right? That's one option for it. Then there's MicroStrategy stock or strategy stock, which is ticker MSTR, that very few of you have. That's kind of the higher risk version, a levered version, if you will. But some of us have quite a bit of it. And then there's the preferreds that we do use heavily in the models, and as a way to protect capital, and that's STRC and STRF. I won't go into those, but he was very detailed in breaking down exactly how those came about, what function they serve, what markets they access, and all in all of those things perform a function. So if you want to roll over to the Bitcoin nuclear reactor,
Yeah, absolutely.
this slide was new. I had not seen this before. Nuclear reactor / nuclear engine. There's a lot going on here, and it's kind of a fun slide. But they really are. When I think I think when you look at, if the world does transition to a Bitcoin or a non-state backed money / currency at some point in the future, which of course Bitcoin's leading that charge, everything kind of gets rewritten as far as how you bank and how you borrow money, and so they're really rewriting the rules to the new finance, if you will, through Bitcoin. So you can see the engines there. You have the Bitcoin in the middle, then you have levered Bitcoin at the bottom with MSTR, and then the Bitcoin derivatives that are out there. All that feeds into Bitcoin, and that's the amount that they have is 59 billion of it. Right. And they have 74 years of coverage. There's a lot of talk about, can they pay their dividends? Well, they have 74 years of coverage at, some baseline assumptions that are out there, which are all very conservative compared to a traditional bank, where you buy a house or something. The leverage ratios that you use to buy a house, these are like fractional of what that sort of transaction is. And then, of course, to kind of really put the naysayers to rest, within, I think it was last Monday, or maybe it was this Monday, within 7 days or so, they came up with this US dollar reserve. So they do have 1.4 billion in reserve that's out there, that's straight cash, and that's going to be able to cover dividends out there, as you can see from the slide. So really dispelled a lot of the rumors out there, and the functions that they use to do that are the STR series. There's 4 of them, and there's a 5th one. If you go back to the reactor there, you can see there's an STRE out there that I think is on the slide that is about to pop up. Where they have exposure now to Europe. So everything was here in the U.S., kind of U.S. based, U.S. dollar, Bitcoin relationship. Now it's Bitcoin Euro relationship, and they're going to continue this worldwide. So super excited for how finance is changing. We believe the Bitcoin thesis, and this just helps us to add more ammunition to our beliefs. But overall, great event. A lot of people out there that were really into Bitcoin. I didn't know how much. Some of the questions surprised me with how detailed they were, and I was impressed. So, Corey, thanks for the opportunity for letting me to talk about the awesomeness of last night's event. And there will be a sizzle reel to follow. It may take us a day or two, right? These things take time to perfect, but we will have some pictures and some videos out.
Absolutely. Steve, sincere thank you for coming on today to share that. Congratulations to you for Steve's the ultimate long game. Somebody asked me, I said, how did Steve do this? And I said, well, you I don't know if you'll be shocked to know, but Steve has other things that he is plotting around in the media and in the space. So just don't be surprised if this is not the last of big names and things to happen associated with Ankerstar Wealth. So anyway, Steve, thank you so much. Everybody, we look forward to talking to you next week. Hopefully we can get those new all-time highs today, and that's all we've got. Have a good one.
Thanks.